Have you ever witnessed a moment so poignant, so heart-stirring, that it could only be described as life-changing? Today, I invite you to join me on a journey into a story that embodies resilience, courage, and the unbreakable bond between a man and his loyal companion. This is a tale of unexpected adversity, where love and determination triumphed over cruelty and despair. Our story centers on Max, a spirited dog with a bright, wagging tail, and his owner, Liam Hudson, an actor celebrated not just for his roles on the silver screen, but for his integrity and compassion. A sudden act of violence against Max set off a chain of events that captured the world's attention, uniting people in a wave of empathy and action. Stay with me as I unravel this remarkable narrative, filled with twists and lessons that transcend the screen and touch the very core of human connection. If this story moves you, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel, and if your heart feels inspired, share a comment below with a phrase like, "I am a beacon of compassion and strength." Together, let's spread a message of love and resilience. Now let us step into the first chapter of this extraordinary saga. The sun had barely crept over the hills of Los Angeles that crisp autumn morning. The air buzzed with the usual hum of city life, punctuated by the sporadic clinks of a film crew preparing for the day's shoot. Liam Hudson, the leading man of the production, took a moment to escape the hustle and bustle, walking his dog Max, whose golden fur glistened in the sunlight like liquid amber. Max was more than just a pet to Liam. He was his confidant, his solace amidst the chaos of fame. Their bond had been forged through years of shared adventures and quiet evenings. To those who knew them, Liam and Max were inseparable, a dynamic duo whose connection was evident in the way they moved together, as if tethered by an invisible thread of trust. But that serene morning was shattered in an instant. A biker, clad in leather and brimming with an air of menace, roared past. His behavior was erratic, his gaze sharp and confrontational. Without warning, he veered toward Liam and Max, his boot lashing out in a cruel arc that struck Max squarely in the side. The yelp that escaped Max was not just a cry of pain, but a shattering of the calm that had enveloped the morning. Liam froze for a fraction of a second, disbelief and fury colliding within him. The biker, showing no remorse, sped off into the distance, leaving behind a trail of exhaust and outrage. Max, though injured, tried to rise, his tail wagging weakly as if to assure Liam he was fine. But Liam's trained eye noticed the tremor in Max's limbs, the way his breathing seemed labored. Panic surged through him, and he scooped Max into his arms, cradling him like a fragile treasure. Word of the incident spread rapidly among the crew and nearby locals. The set, once alive with the excitement of filmmaking, became a hub of concern and speculation. Who was this biker? Why had he attacked an innocent dog? As questions swirled, Liam's focus remained unwavering. Max's well-being came first. The incident triggered a cascade of emotions in the community. Max wasn't just any dog. He was a co-star in the production, a creature beloved by the cast and crew for his playful spirit and endearing antics. People began to rally around Liam and Max, offering support in ways both big and small. As hours passed, a clearer picture began to emerge. Witnesses recalled seeing the biker frequenting the area, often displaying erratic and aggressive behavior. Some whispered about a notorious biker gang that had been causing trouble in the neighborhood, group known for their intimidation tactics and disdain for authority. Liam, though heartbroken and furious, chose to channel his emotions into action. He reported the attack to the police, providing them with every detail he could recall. His determination to seek justice for Max was not just an act of vengeance, but a declaration. Cruelty, in any form, would not go unchecked. Max's condition, however, took a worrying turn. Hours after the incident, he began to exhibit symptoms that pointed to something more sinister: poisoning. It was as if the physical attack hadn't been enough. The biker's cruelty had extended beyond a mere kick. Liam wasted no time, rushing Max to a nearby veterinary hospital. The race against time was grueling. The veterinary team worked tirelessly, their expertise and compassion shining through as they fought to stabilize Max. Liam stayed by his side, his hands trembling as he stroked Max's fur and whispered words of encouragement. The room was thick with tension, every beep of the monitors a reminder of the fragility of life. As the news spread, an unexpected phenomenon began to unfold. Messages of support flooded in from fans, fellow actors, and animal lovers across the globe. Social media became a platform for solidarity, with hashtags like #JusticeForMax and #LoveOverCruelty trending within hours. The biker, once an anonymous figure, was soon identified thanks to the collective efforts of the community. His actions were condemned universally, and he faced not only legal repercussions, but the disdain of a world that refused to tolerate such callousness. Yet, amid the turmoil, there was a profound sense of unity. Max's plight became a rallying cry for kindness and accountability. Strangers reached out to offer their resources, from donations for Max's treatment to petitions demanding stricter laws against animal cruelty. Liam, ever the stoic figure, found himself moved to tears by the outpouring of love. He used his platform to amplify the voices of those who fought for justice, becoming a symbol of resilience and advocacy. His on-screen heroics paled in comparison to the real-life courage he displayed in standing up for Max. The recovery process was arduous, but Max proved to be a fighter. Day by day, he regained his strength, his spirit undiminished despite the ordeal. The bond between Liam and Max grew even stronger, a testament to the unyielding power of love and determination. As the chapter of Max's recovery unfolded, it left an indelible mark on all who followed the story. It was a reminder of the goodness that exists in humanity, a spark of hope that even in the face of cruelty, love could triumph. But this was only the beginning. The incident with the biker had far-reaching implications, revealing a deeper problem that needed addressing. Liam's fight for Max's justice would soon transform into a battle for the safety and well-being of an entire community. What could one man and his dog possibly do against a notorious gang? Join us in the next chapter as we delve into Liam's unwavering resolve to bring peace and safety to the streets of Los Angeles. The days following Max's attack were a blur for Liam. Between veterinary visits, interviews with law enforcement, and an endless stream of messages from concerned fans, he barely had a moment to process the magnitude of what had happened. Yet, amid the chaos, one thing was clear. The bond between Liam and Max had become the heart of a story much larger than either of them. The streets of Los Angeles, where the incident occurred, were no strangers to unrest. Stories of petty crimes, gang altercations, and random acts of violence were commonplace in certain neighborhoods. Still, the attack on Max hit differently. It was senseless, unprovoked, and cruel, a flashpoint that struck a chord with people across the world. As Max recuperated under the attentive care of veterinarians, Liam found himself grappling with a question that wouldn't leave him alone. Why had the biker done it? It wasn't just the act itself that haunted Liam, but the underlying intent. Was it an expression of pent-up anger, a bid for dominance, or was it simply a reckless act of malice? Liam's search for answers began with the local authorities. The police were swift to act, thanks to video footage from a bystander's phone that captured the biker's face and actions with chilling clarity. It didn't take long for the suspect to be identified as a member of a loosely organized biker gang that had been linked to other incidents in the area. This gang, while not enormous in size, had a reputation for intimidation. They thrived on fear and chaos, targeting both people and property without provocation. For many residents, their presence had become a dark cloud hanging over the community, a persistent reminder of the fragility of safety. Liam, however, was not one to be intimidated. Fueled by anger and a fierce protectiveness for Max, he began reaching out to neighbors, fellow actors, and local advocacy groups. If this gang had been terrorizing the community unchecked, perhaps it was time for someone to push back. What began as a personal quest for justice quickly transformed into something much bigger. Liam organized a town hall meeting, inviting residents to share their stories and concerns. To his surprise, dozens showed up. The room was filled with people who had been victims of vandalism, theft, and harassment, their voices trembling with a mix of fear and frustration. One elderly woman recounted how her garden, a labor of love and a source of joy, had been destroyed by a group of bikers. Another man spoke of being followed late at night, his every step shadowed by the roar of engines. These were not isolated incidents, but a pattern of behavior that had gone unchallenged for too long. As Liam listened, he realized the community's pain mirrored his own. The attack on Max had been personal, but the fight for justice was universal. "We can't let fear dictate our lives," Liam told the crowd, his voice steady and resolute. "If we stand together, we can reclaim our streets, our homes, and our peace of mind." The meeting marked the beginning of a grassroots movement. Under Liam's leadership, the community began to organize. They worked with local law enforcement to increase patrols and implemented a neighborhood watch program. Business owners installed security cameras, and residents pledged to look out for one another. Liam also used his celebrity status to shine a light on the issue. He gave interviews, penned op-eds, and leveraged social media to raise awareness. His message was clear. The fight against cruelty and violence was not just about punishing the guilty, but about protecting the innocent. Meanwhile, Max's recovery became a beacon of hope. Updates about his progress, shared through heartfelt photos and videos, spread like wildfire online. Fans around the world followed his journey, sending messages of love and encouragement. Max, with his wagging tail and soulful eyes, became a symbol of resilience, embodying the very spirit of the movement Liam had sparked. But the fight was far from over. The gang, angered by the attention and the growing resistance, began to retaliate. Intimidating graffiti appeared on walls, and the roar of motorcycles became a familiar and unnerving sound in the neighborhood. It was a tense time, one that tested the community's resolve and Liam's leadership. Liam, however, refused to back down. Drawing on his on-screen persona as a protector of justice, he became a real-life hero for those who looked to him for guidance. He worked tirelessly to ensure the safety of his neighbors, even as he faced threats and challenges of his own. One evening, as Liam returned home from a late-night meeting, he found a note taped to his door. It was a warning, scrawled in bold, threatening letters. "Stay out of our business, or you'll regret it." For a moment, doubt crept in. Was he putting himself and Max in even greater danger? But then he thought of the elderly woman's destroyed garden, the frightened man walking home, and Max's courageous fight to heal. This wasn't just about him. It was about standing up for what was right, no matter the cost. The turning point came during a dramatic confrontation. One night, a group of bikers rode into the neighborhood, revving their engines and shouting taunts. But this time, they were met with a united front. Residents stepped outside, their presence a silent but powerful statement of defiance. Police arrived swiftly, their response coordinated and effective thanks to the neighborhood's newfound vigilance. The gang's power began to crumble. Arrests were made, and investigations uncovered a web of criminal activity that extended far beyond the neighborhood. With their leaders behind bars and their operations exposed, the gang's reign of terror came to an end. For the first time in years, the streets felt safe again. Children played outside, businesses flourished, and a sense of community pride blossomed. Liam and Max, once symbols of tragedy, became symbols of triumph. Their story inspired others to take action in their own communities, proving that even in the face of darkness, light could prevail. But what would Liam do with this newfound platform and the love and support of his community? Stay with us as we explore how he transformed his personal journey into a global mission for kindness and justice. As peace began to settle over the neighborhood, Liam Hudson reflected on the tumultuous weeks that had transformed his life. What had started as a single, cruel act against his beloved dog Max had blossomed into a powerful movement for justice and community solidarity. Yet, Liam knew their story was far from over. The experience had left a profound impact on him, awakening a deep sense of responsibility to use his voice and influence for a greater cause. Max, now fully recovered, had become a local hero. Everywhere Liam went, people stopped to greet Max, showering him with affection and sharing their own stories of resilience and hope. Children drew pictures of Max, families baked treats for him, and fans from all corners of the world sent messages of admiration. Max's wagging tail and bright eyes became a living reminder that love and determination could conquer even the darkest moments. Despite the victory over the biker gang, Liam couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to be done. The attack on Max was not an isolated incident, but part of a larger problem, one that extended beyond the neighborhood and touched communities everywhere. Acts of cruelty, whether directed at animals or people, often went unnoticed or unpunished. Liam realized that if he and Max could inspire change in one community, they could do the same on a larger scale. It began with a single idea. Justice for Max wasn't just about holding one individual accountable. It was about creating a world where compassion and kindness were the norm, not the exception. Liam decided to channel the momentum of their story into advocacy for animal welfare and community empowerment. The first step was to establish a foundation in Max's name. Max's Voice became a nonprofit organization dedicated to raising awareness about animal cruelty, supporting local shelters, and funding programs that promoted empathy and education. With the help of friends, colleagues, and supporters, Liam launched the foundation with a mission to amplify the voices of those who couldn't speak for themselves. The response was overwhelming. Donations poured in, allowing the foundation to provide resources to shelters that were struggling to care for abandoned and abused animals. Educational campaigns were launched, teaching children the importance of kindness and respect toward all living beings. Max became the face of the movement, his story inspiring countless others to take action. Liam also began collaborating with lawmakers, advocating for stricter penalties for animal cruelty and increased funding for animal protection services. His passionate speeches and heartfelt appeals resonated with people from all walks of life, sparking important conversations about the value of compassion in society. But Liam didn't stop there. He recognized that the fight for justice extended beyond animals to encompass human struggles as well. Inspired by the strength and unity of his community, he used his platform to address broader issues, from bullying to social inequality. Liam believed that the lessons he had learned through his journey with Max, lessons of love, empathy, and resilience, could be applied to all areas of life. As Max's story gained traction, Liam received invitations to speak at events and conferences around the world. He shared the stage with activists, policymakers, and educators, recounting the journey that had begun on that fateful morning in Los Angeles. His words resonated deeply, reminding audiences that even in the face of adversity, there was always an opportunity to choose kindness and make a difference. One of the most memorable moments came during a visit to a school. Standing before a group of wide-eyed children, Liam told the story of Max's recovery and the community's triumph over fear. He spoke of courage, responsibility, and the power of standing up for what's right. At the end of his talk, a young girl raised her hand and said, "I want to be like you when I grow up. I want to help people and animals too." It was a simple statement, but it filled Liam with hope. If their story could inspire even one child to make the world a better place, then every hardship they had endured was worth it. As Liam and Max continued their journey, they encountered countless individuals whose lives had been touched by their story. There was the shelter volunteer who found renewed purpose in caring for animals, the bullied teenager who drew strength from Max's resilience, and the elderly man who, after hearing Liam speak, decided to adopt a dog for companionship. These moments of connection reminded Liam that their story was not just about justice, it was about hope. It was about showing the world that even in the face of cruelty and hardship, love and determination could prevail. Despite his busy schedule, Liam never lost sight of what mattered most, his bond with Max. Every evening, they would take a walk together, retracing the steps of that fateful day, but now surrounded by a neighborhood that felt safer and more united than ever. Liam would often reflect on how much had changed, not just in the community, but within himself. Max, ever the faithful companion, seemed to understand. His wagging tail and playful demeanor were constant reminders of the joy and resilience that defined their journey. Together, they had faced the worst and emerged stronger, not just as a man and his dog, but as symbols of what was possible when people came together for a common cause. But Liam's story with Max was still evolving. What unexpected opportunities would arise from their newfound mission? And how would their journey continue to inspire a world hungry for kindness and hope? Join us as we explore the next chapter, where Max becomes a global ambassador for change and Liam discovers the true impact of their shared legacy. Liam Hudson had always believed in fate, that the twists and turns of life, though often painful, were opportunities in disguise. The attack on Max had upended his life, but it had also awakened a purpose he never imagined he would embrace. Yet, even as Max's recovery inspired hope, the journey to save him had been fraught with challenges that tested Liam's resolve and revealed the depths of their bond. It all began on that heart-wrenching day when Max, after enduring a cruel kick from the biker, began showing signs of distress. Initially, Liam thought the pain was purely physical, a bruise or a strain from the impact. But hours later, Max's condition deteriorated rapidly. His energy waned, his breathing grew shallow, and his once bright eyes were clouded with discomfort. The shift was sudden and alarming. Liam's mind raced with possibilities, each one more dire than the last. Could the biker have done something more than kick Max? Had he ingested something harmful while they were out? The questions were endless, but there was no time to dwell on them. Liam scooped Max into his arms and rushed to the nearest veterinary hospital, praying that they weren't already too late. The veterinary hospital was a whirlwind of activity, but the moment Liam arrived with Max, the staff sprang into action. Dr. Ellen Rivera, a seasoned veterinarian with a calm yet commanding presence, led the team. She immediately recognized the urgency of Max's condition and began a thorough examination. "He's showing signs of toxic ingestion," she explained to Liam, her voice steady but serious. "We need to run tests and start treatment right away. Do you have any idea what he might have been exposed to?" Liam recounted the events of the day, his voice tinged with frustration and fear. The biker's kick, the way Max had sniffed at the ground afterward. It all seemed like a blur. Dr. Rivera nodded, her expression grave but focused. "We'll do everything we can," she assured him. "But time is critical. We need to stabilize him first." The next few hours were agonizing. Liam paced the waiting room, his thoughts a cacophony of worry and guilt. He replayed every moment of the morning, questioning if there was something he could have done differently to protect Max. The bond they shared was more than companionship. Max had been there for him during his loneliest days, offering unconditional love and loyalty. Now it was Liam's turn to fight for Max with everything he had. The staff worked tirelessly, administering fluids, running tests, and monitoring Max's vitals. Liam watched through the glass as Dr. Rivera and her team moved with precision and care. Each moment felt like an eternity. The beeping of monitors a constant reminder of the fragile balance between life and loss. Finally, after what felt like a lifetime, Dr. Rivera emerged from the treatment room. Her expression was one of cautious optimism. "Max is stable for now," she said, her words a balm to Liam's frayed nerves. "We found traces of a common but highly toxic substance, likely from bait or something intentionally left behind. We've started treatment, but he's not out of the woods yet. The next 24 hours are critical." Liam's relief was palpable, but it was tempered by the realization that someone had deliberately tried to harm Max. The thought was both infuriating and heartbreaking. How could anyone be so cruel? Throughout the night, Liam stayed by Max's side, refusing to leave even for a moment. He spoke to Max in hushed tones, recounting their adventures and promising that they still had many more to come. Despite his fear, he clung to hope, drawing strength from the unyielding spirit that Max had always shown. As the hours passed, Max began to show signs of improvement. His breathing steadied, and the flicker of recognition in his eyes brought a wave of emotion crashing over Liam. The bond they shared had been tested in the most profound way, and together, they had faced the abyss and fought their way back. Word of Max's ordeal spread quickly, sparking an outpouring of support from fans and animal lovers around the world. Social media lit up with messages of encouragement, and the hashtag #SaveMax began trending globally. People shared stories of their own beloved pets, creating a tapestry of empathy and solidarity that transcended borders. For Liam, the experience was both humbling and transformative. He realized that Max's story was not just about one dog's survival, but a testament to the resilience of the human-animal bond. The love and care that had brought Max back from the brink were a reflection of the best of humanity, a reminder that even in the face of cruelty, compassion could prevail. As Max continued to recover, Liam channeled his gratitude into action. He partnered with the veterinary hospital to fund a program that provided emergency care for animals in need. The initiative, named Max's Hope, aimed to ensure that no pet would suffer due to lack of resources or support. The program quickly gained traction, drawing donations from people inspired by Max's story. Clinics across the country joined the effort, creating a network of care that saved countless lives. Max became a symbol of resilience and hope, his journey a beacon for those fighting their own battles. Despite the success of the program, Liam couldn't shake the nagging question of who had poisoned Max and why. The investigation into the biker gang continued, and while some members had been apprehended, the individual responsible for the attack remained elusive. Liam vowed to see the case through, not out of vengeance, but as a matter of principle. Meanwhile, Max's recovery brought a renewed sense of purpose to Liam's life. Their bond, once forged in moments of joy and companionship, had deepened in the crucible of adversity. Max's unwavering spirit reminded Liam of the power of love and resilience, lessons he carried with him as they embarked on the next chapter of their journey. But the fight for justice wasn't over. What secrets would the investigation uncover? And how would Liam and Max's story continue to inspire a world hungry for change? Stay with us as we delve deeper into their remarkable journey, where courage and compassion light the way forward. As Max's health steadily improved, Liam Hudson found himself drawn back to the community that had rallied around him during the darkest hours of his life. The attack on Max had become a symbol of something much larger, a fight against the pervasive fear and cruelty that had taken root in their neighborhood. With renewed purpose, Liam turned his attention to uniting his neighbors in a collective stand for justice, safety, and compassion. The biker gang's presence had long been a shadow over the area. Their acts of intimidation, graffiti on walls, vandalism, and occasional outbursts of violence had created an atmosphere of unease that seeped into daily life. For years, residents had tolerated the gang's activities, avoiding confrontation out of fear. But Max's ordeal had ignited a spark of courage, and Liam knew this was a moment to act. Liam's first step was to reconnect with the people around him. He began organizing informal gatherings at the local park, inviting residents to share their concerns and ideas. At first, the turnout was modest, with only a handful of people attending. Many were skeptical, their trust eroded by years of unanswered pleas for help. But Liam's sincerity and determination were infectious. He spoke openly about his own experience, admitting the fear and frustration he had felt in the wake of the attack on Max. "I know what it's like to feel powerless," he told the small crowd. "But together, we're stronger than any threat. We owe it to ourselves, to our families, and to each other to reclaim our neighborhood." As word spread, the gatherings grew. People who had once felt isolated and voiceless began to see the potential for change. They shared their own stories of encounters with the gang, their fears for their children's safety, and their longing for a community where kindness, not intimidation, prevailed. One pivotal moment came when a single mother, Maria, spoke about an incident in which her young son had been harassed by gang members while walking home from school. Her voice trembled with anger and sadness, but it was her resolve that struck a chord with everyone present. "I won't let fear dictate my life anymore," she declared. "If we don't stand up now, when will we?" Liam took Maria's words to heart. He began working with local law enforcement, advocating for increased patrols and better communication between the police and the community. Officers attended the gatherings, listening to residents' concerns and offering advice on how to stay safe. The collaboration marked a turning point as trust between the neighborhood and the authorities began to rebuild. But Liam knew that true change would require more than police presence. It needed the active participation of the community. Drawing on his connections in the entertainment industry, he organized a neighborhood cleanup day, inviting volunteers to paint over graffiti, repair damaged property, and beautify shared spaces. The event was a resounding success, with families, business owners, and even children coming together to transform the area. Max, now fully recovered and as spirited as ever, became a mascot for the movement. His presence at these events brought smiles and inspiration, a living reminder of the resilience and love that had sparked the fight for change. Children flocked to him, and even those who had been hesitant to join the cause found themselves drawn to his unwavering joy. One of the most impactful initiatives was the creation of a neighborhood watch program. Volunteers took turns patrolling the streets, their presence a deterrent to criminal activity. Equipped with walkie-talkies and a shared sense of purpose, they became the eyes and ears of the community. The program also fostered deeper connections among residents. Neighbors who had once been strangers began forming friendships, united by their shared commitment to creating a safer environment. The neighborhood, once fragmented and fearful, began to feel like a family. As the movement gained momentum, the biker gang's influence waned. They found themselves outnumbered and outmaneuvered. Their usual tactics of intimidation met with unwavering resistance. Arrests were made as the police cracked down on their activities, and those who remained saw their power erode in the face of a united community. Liam's efforts didn't go unnoticed. His story and the neighborhood's transformation attracted media attention. News outlets highlighted the grassroots movement as a model for community-led change, and Liam became a reluctant spokesperson for the cause. Though he was uncomfortable with the spotlight, he recognized the opportunity to inspire others facing similar challenges. Through interviews and public appearances, Liam emphasized the importance of empathy and collective action. "This isn't about me or even about Max," he often said. "It's about what we can achieve when we come together, when we refuse to let fear dictate our lives." One particularly poignant moment came during a live television interview. Liam was asked what had motivated him to take on such a daunting challenge. He paused for a moment, then said, "Max taught me that love is the most powerful force we have. If a dog can face pain and still greet the world with a wagging tail, then surely we can find the strength to stand up for what's right." The interview went viral, touching hearts around the world. Messages poured in from people who had been inspired by the story, many of them sharing their own efforts to make a difference in their communities. Liam and Max's journey had become a beacon of hope, proving that even in the face of adversity, change was possible. By the time the biker gang had been fully disbanded, the neighborhood was almost unrecognizable. Once a place defined by fear, it had become a vibrant and welcoming community where people looked out for one another. Liam often walked Max through the streets, greeting neighbors and reflecting on how far they had come. But the journey wasn't over. Liam knew that maintaining the progress they had made would require ongoing effort and vigilance. More importantly, he wanted to share the lessons they had learned with others, inspiring more communities to embrace the power of unity and compassion. How would Liam and Max take their message to a global stage? And what new challenges would they face as their story continued to unfold? Join us in the next chapter as their journey evolves into a movement that touches lives far beyond their neighborhood. The transformation of Liam Hudson's neighborhood was nothing short of remarkable, but the impact of his and Max's journey stretched far beyond their immediate community. Max's story had captivated the hearts of people around the world, and as his recovery became a symbol of resilience, he and Liam found themselves at the center of a global movement. It started with a simple photograph taken on the day of the neighborhood cleanup. The image showed Max sitting proudly beside a freshly painted wall, his tail mid-wag and his bright eyes filled with the unmistakable joy of life. Liam, kneeling beside him, had one arm draped around Max in a gesture of quiet gratitude. The photo, shared on social media with the caption, "From fear to hope, together we rise," went viral within hours. The response was overwhelming. Animal lovers, activists, and ordinary people from every corner of the globe shared the post, many adding their own stories of overcoming adversity. The hashtag #MaxTheResilient trended for weeks, uniting people in a celebration of hope and determination. Max, once a victim of cruelty, had become a symbol of the unbreakable spirit that resides within all living beings. The newfound attention opened doors that Liam had never anticipated. Invitations poured in from organizations and events, each wanting Max and Liam to share their story. At first, Liam was hesitant. He was an actor, not an activist, and the idea of speaking in front of large crowds felt daunting. But every time he doubted himself, he would look at Max, whose journey reminded him of the power of courage and perseverance. Their first major appearance was at an animal welfare conference in New York City. The audience was packed with advocates, veterinarians, and policymakers, all eager to hear the story that had inspired millions. Liam stood on stage, Max by his side, and began with the words that had become his mantra. This is not just a story about a dog. This is a story about love, resilience, and the extraordinary things we can achieve when we refuse to give up. As Liam recounted their journey, the room was silent, save for the occasional sniffle as emotions ran high. He spoke of the fear and anger he had felt after Max's attack, the sense of community that had emerged in the aftermath, and the lessons he had learned about the power of unity and compassion. Max, ever the charmer, played his part perfectly, wagging his tail at key moments and melting hearts with his soulful gaze. By the time Liam finished, the audience was on its feet, their applause a thunderous expression of admiration and support. It was a turning point for Liam, who realized that their story had the power to inspire real change, not just for animals, but for the way people treated each other. In the months that followed, Max's influence grew. He became the face of several campaigns, from promoting animal adoption to advocating for stricter anti-cruelty laws. His image adorned billboards, posters, and even merchandise, with proceeds going to support shelters and rescue organizations. Children's books were written about him, each one capturing his indomitable spirit and teaching young readers about kindness and empathy. One of the most impactful initiatives was the launch of the Max's Voice Global Tour, a series of events that brought Liam and Max to communities around the world. Each stop was an opportunity to share their story and support local causes, from building shelters to funding educational programs. The tour also highlighted the efforts of unsung heroes, those who worked tirelessly to protect and care for animals in need. At one memorable event in Brazil, Liam met a group of street children who had rescued a stray dog and nursed it back to health using scraps of food and makeshift bandages. Their bond with the dog mirrored Liam's connection with Max, and the encounter left him deeply moved. "Compassion knows no boundaries," Liam later said in a speech. "It doesn't matter where you come from or what you have. Kindness is a gift that anyone can give." As the tour progressed, Liam began to notice something extraordinary. Max's story was not just inspiring acts of kindness, it was fostering a global sense of connection. People who might never have crossed paths were coming together, united by their shared love for animals and their desire to create a better world. But with fame came challenges. Skeptics questioned Liam's motives, accusing him of capitalizing on Max's story for personal gain. The criticism stung, but Liam chose to focus on the positive impact they were making. "This isn't about me," he would say. "It's about what Max represents. The resilience to overcome, the courage to stand up for what's right, and the power of love to heal." Max, ever the faithful companion, seemed unfazed by the attention. He continued to be the same playful, affectionate dog he had always been, his joy undiminished by the spotlight. To Liam, Max's authenticity was a reminder to stay grounded and true to their mission. As the global tour drew to a close, Liam reflected on how far they had come. The attack on Max had been a moment of unimaginable pain, but it had also been the catalyst for a movement that had touched countless lives. What had started as a fight for one dog's justice had grown into a celebration of resilience and a call to action for compassion and unity. One evening, as Liam and Max watched the sunset from a quiet hillside, Liam turned to his loyal companion and said, "You've changed the world, Max, and you've changed me, Max." As if understanding the weight of Liam's words, rested his head on Liam's lap, his eyes filled with the quiet wisdom that only dogs possess. But their journey wasn't over. What would Liam and Max do next to ensure their message of hope and resilience continued to resonate? Join us as we explore their legacy and the enduring impact of their remarkable bond on a world in need of kindness. The Max phenomenon had grown into a global symbol of hope and resilience, but for Liam Hudson, the story was far from over. What had begun as a deeply personal journey had evolved into something extraordinary, touching lives in ways he never could have imagined. Yet, as the spotlight continued to shine on him and Max, Liam found himself navigating a delicate balance between his roles as an actor, advocate, and friend to his beloved dog. It was during this time that Liam's latest film, Steel Resolve, was set to premiere. The movie, a gritty action drama, featured Liam as a determined yet tender-hearted hero, a character whose protective instincts and unwavering sense of justice mirrored Liam's own real-life actions. Max, who had been cast in the film long before the attack, played the role of the hero's loyal canine companion. The timing of the premiere couldn't have been more poignant. The parallels between the film and the events that had unfolded in Liam's life were uncanny, and the public eagerly awaited the release. Drawn by the emotional resonance of the story, Liam approached the premiere with mixed emotions. On one hand, he was proud of the film and the message it conveyed. On the other, he was keenly aware of the expectations placed on him and Max. The line between fiction and reality had blurred, and the world now saw them as symbols of hope and heroism both on and off the screen. The red carpet event was unlike anything Liam had experienced. Fans lined the streets, holding signs and shouting words of encouragement. Many had brought their own dogs, creating a joyful, chaotic sea of wagging tails and heartfelt enthusiasm. Max, the undeniable star of the evening, trotted confidently beside Liam, his tail wagging in appreciation of the attention. Inside the theater, the atmosphere was electric. The film's opening scenes drew audible gasps from the audience, as Liam's character faced harrowing challenges that echoed the real-life ordeal he and Max had endured. When Max's on-screen counterpart appeared, the theater erupted in applause, the audience captivated by the bond between man and dog. As the credits rolled, Liam took to the stage, Max at his side, to address the audience. His voice, steady but filled with emotion, carried through the theater. "This film is more than entertainment," he began. "It's a reminder of the strength we find in love and loyalty, even in the darkest times. Max and I lived this story, and I hope it inspires each of you to stand up for what's right, to protect those who can't protect themselves, and to believe in the power of resilience." The audience rose to their feet in a standing ovation, their applause echoing long after Liam and Max left the stage. The film's release marked a turning point in Liam's career. No longer just an actor, he had become a storyteller in the truest sense, one who used his platform to inspire and uplift. Offers poured in for new roles, many of which mirrored the themes of courage and compassion that had come to define him. But Liam was selective, choosing projects that aligned with his values and the mission he had embraced alongside Max. Off-screen, Liam and Max continued their advocacy work, but on a grander scale. With the success of Steel Resolve as a backdrop, they launched a series of public service campaigns aimed at combating animal cruelty and promoting community empowerment. The campaigns, titled Hero in Every Heart, encouraged individuals to take small but meaningful actions to make the world a kinder place. The initiative struck a chord, sparking a wave of grassroots efforts. Families adopted pets from shelters, schools incorporated kindness education into their curricula, and local governments passed ordinances to protect animals and promote safer neighborhoods. Liam and Max became the faces of this movement, their journey a testament to the idea that heroes could come in all shapes and sizes. But the journey wasn't without challenges. Balancing the demands of advocacy, acting, and personal life was no easy feat. Liam often found himself stretched thin, juggling media appearances, speaking engagements, and time on set. Yet, through it all, Max remained his anchor, a constant source of joy and perspective. One evening, after a particularly grueling day, Liam sat with Max in their backyard, the stars twinkling overhead. "You've given me more than I could ever repay," he said softly. running a hand through Max's fur. "Because of you, I've found a purpose I never knew I needed." Max, as if understanding the depth of Liam's words, leaned into him, his warm presence a quiet assurance. The bond between them continued to inspire others, but it also reminded Liam of the simple joys that had always defined their relationship. Despite the fame and responsibility, they remained, at their core, just a man and his dog, two souls who had found each other in a chaotic world. Their story, however, was far from over. Liam's work as an advocate began to expand into new territories, addressing not only animal welfare but broader issues of compassion and justice. He partnered with humanitarian organizations, lending his voice to causes that aligned with the values he and Max represented. What new challenges would Liam and Max face as they took their message to new heights? And how would their journey continue to evolve as they sought to inspire even greater change? Stay with us as we explore the enduring legacy of two unlikely heroes who reminded the world that love and resilience could conquer anything. As the years unfolded, Liam Hudson and Max's journey transcended the boundaries of their own story, becoming a beacon of inspiration for countless individuals and communities around the world. What had begun as a response to cruelty and injustice had blossomed into a global movement rooted in the transformative power of compassion, resilience, and collective action. For Liam, the work never stopped. He recognized that true change required more than a singular effort. It required a sustained commitment to addressing the deeper issues that allowed cruelty, fear, and indifference to take root. This realization spurred the next phase of his mission, a focus on creating systems that empowered people to be catalysts for kindness and justice. With the continued success of their campaigns and advocacy work, Liam decided to formalize their efforts by establishing the Max Foundation, an organization dedicated to advancing animal welfare, community building, and education on empathy and resilience. The Foundation's mission was ambitious yet grounded, to make the values Max embodied: loyalty, courage, and love accessible to everyone. The Foundation's programs ranged from funding emergency veterinary care to creating animal-assisted therapy initiatives for trauma survivors. Schools partnered with the Max Foundation to implement kindness curriculums, teaching children the importance of empathy and respect from a young age. Liam also worked with governments to strengthen laws against animal cruelty and expand resources for shelters and rescue organizations. Max, now a senior dog but no less vibrant, became the Foundation's honorary ambassador. His image was everywhere, from brochures to billboards to the collars of pets whose owners proudly supported the cause. Max's story continued to resonate, reminding people that even in the face of hardship, love and determination could prevail. One of the most impactful initiatives under the Max Foundation was the Communities United program, which focused on fostering collaboration and resilience in neighborhoods that faced challenges similar to Liam's own. The program provided resources for organizing neighborhood watch groups, beautifying public spaces, and addressing systemic issues like poverty and violence. Liam personally visited many of these communities, sharing his story and listening to the struggles and triumphs of the people he met. In one particularly moving encounter, he met a young woman named Sophia, who had been inspired by Max's story to organize a dog rescue effort in her rural town. Sophia's determination had saved dozens of animals, and her efforts had brought her community together in ways she never thought possible. "You reminded us that every small act of kindness matters," she told Liam during his visit, "and that no one is too small to make a difference." Liam's interactions with people like Sophia reaffirmed his belief in the ripple effect of compassion. Every act of goodness, no matter how small, had the potential to inspire others and create lasting change. As Max grew older, Liam became acutely aware of the limited time they had left together. Each moment with Max felt precious, a reminder of the bond that had not only shaped Liam's life, but had also touched the lives of millions. When Max's health began to decline, Liam made the difficult decision to scale back his public appearances to spend more time at home. The days were quieter but no less meaningful, filled with walks in the park, shared meals, and long evenings by the fire. Liam often found himself reflecting on their journey, the challenges they had faced, the lives they had touched, and the love that had guided them through it all. Max passed away peacefully one morning, surrounded by the warmth of Liam's love and the familiarity of their home. His departure was met with an outpouring of grief and gratitude from people around the world. Tributes flooded in, celebrating Max as not just a dog, but as a symbol of hope and resilience. To honor Max's legacy, the Max Foundation launched a new initiative, Max's Light, a global campaign encouraging people to share acts of kindness in Max's name. The campaign quickly gained momentum, with individuals and organizations participating in everything from adopting pets to planting trees to simply helping a neighbor in need. Max's absence left a void in Liam's life, but it also deepened his resolve to carry forward the mission they had started together. He continued to lead the Max Foundation, channeling his grief into action and using every platform available to spread their message. Liam's work evolved to address broader issues of compassion and justice, from advocating for mental health awareness to championing environmental stewardship. He often said that Max had taught him not only how to love unconditionally, but also how to fight for what truly mattered. Liam's storytelling abilities remained central to his impact. His speeches, films, and writings wove together lessons from his own experiences with broader themes of resilience and humanity. He became a sought-after speaker, inspiring audiences with his authenticity and unwavering belief in the power of kindness. Years after Max's passing, his legacy continued to thrive. The Max Foundation had grown into an international organization with chapters in dozens of countries, each carrying forward the mission of creating a kinder, more connected world. Liam often marveled at how Max's spirit seemed to live on in the people and communities they had touched. From the child who found courage in Max's story to the activist who used their platform to champion animal rights, the ripple effects of their journey were immeasurable. One evening, while addressing a packed auditorium, Liam shared a final reflection. Max showed us that even in the face of cruelty, we can choose compassion. Even when the odds seem insurmountable, we can find the courage to act. And even when we feel alone, we can create connections that remind us we're never truly on our own. Max's light continues to guide us, not because he was extraordinary, but because he showed us that we all have the capacity to be extraordinary. The legacy of love is infinite, and it belongs to all of us. And so, Liam and Max's story became more than a tale of recovery and resilience. It became a lasting testament to the power of love, action, and hope to change the world. If this story inspired you, consider becoming a part of Max's legacy by subscribing to our channel. Share a comment below with a message of kindness like, "I am a light of compassion in the world." And don't forget to explore our other videos, where stories of courage and love continue to uplift and inspire. Together, we can make the world a kinder place, one act of compassion at a time.